Shanti Shanti Shanti.
In this world that we are born in, we are bound by actions. Anybody who is in this world must perform actions. If somebody thinks he is not doing anything, just lying around, lazing around, even such a person is performing action, because such a person is bound by the idea of I. So if he is simply lying around, the question arises, who is lying around? I am lying around. Then you are bound by the action of lying around. Similarly, if somebody says, I am serving, the question arises, who is serving? Then you say, I, this body is serving. You are bound by that action. Somebody says, I am happy. The question arises, who is happy? And the answer is I, as this body is happy or the mind is happy, you are bound. So also I am sad. Who is sad? I, this body and mind is sad, you are bound. So the question that we must ask ourselves is that, who is the one who is performing these actions? Is it this body and the mind that we identify with, or is there something beyond this? And like Kenopanishad also says, who is that? What is that? Behind all that which is being experienced. Kene shitam preshitam manaha. Who is the mind? Who is behind the mind? Kene shitam vachamimam vadanti. By what does these words come out of our mouth? By which speech happens? Chakshusrotraha kaudeo vinakti. Which power is there behind our eyes and ears? How are we able to? Kene shitaha prathamam prana praitiyuktaha. How is this life force that is governing all our actions is happening? What is the reason for it? And then the answer Rishi gives is, there is an eye behind the eyes. Chakshuscha chakshuhu, shotrasya shotram, pranasya pranaha, manaso manoyat. Like that he goes on explaining that behind all that we experience through our senses or the mind, there is a power. And that power is the real doer. The eyes, the ears, the tongue, or even the life force that is making us feel alive. None of these stand on their own. There is something beyond and behind all this, which is the reason why all these appear to do what they are doing. And it says the one who realizes that there is something else which is working through our eyes, ears, nose, mouth, bodies, one who realizes that, he realizes the self. Amrita bhavanti, it says. Such a person becomes immortal. Why? Because he realizes eyes, ears, nose will die one day. Even the prana shakti, the life force within us which governs all these functions, is also going to disappear one day. But that which is the reason for all these to work will not die. And if you identify yourself with that, behind all these apparent things on the surface, then you are not going to ever be afraid of death. Also, you will never think that the doership is from the body or the mind or even the life force, because you clearly see the difference or the distinction between the two. That power which makes all these happen versus all these things that are happening through the senses. You can distinguish between the two. And you establish yourself and identify yourself with that power of consciousness, because at the end of it, it concludes that that power is the power of consciousness. And that consciousness makes everything happen. So you are that consciousness, you are not the body, mind, senses and the life force. You are beyond that. Once you establish yourself firmly in that thought, all the doership disappears. All the enjoyership disappears. It's like a doll or a puppet which is dancing because there is somebody pulling the strings. We don't see the puppeteer who pulls the strings. We only see the puppet. And we think the puppet is speaking, puppet is dancing, the puppet is enjoying. In the old traditions of our country, puppet shows. Across the world also there are puppet shows. but the puppets appear to be alive and doing things, speaking and expressing, but there is somebody else who is doing behind that. The one who pulls the strings, the one who gives the voice to the puppet. Such a person does exist in our scriptures, they say. And it's not a person, it's a power that exists. And that power is consciousness. And that consciousness is Brahman. That is the conclusion, Prajnanam Brahma. That consciousness, that power is Brahman. How do we experience it? Not through the senses. Like eyes can see everything, but eyes cannot see themselves. Likewise, this consciousness experiences everything, but nothing else can experience this consciousness. You only know it by becoming it. And that the process of becoming consciousness or feeling consciousness as your true self is unbecoming all that which is not consciousness. Anything that has a beginning or the end is not consciousness. Anything that has fluctuations of positives and negatives is not consciousness. Everything that has two things to it, plus and minus or left and right or this and that, all that is not consciousness. It's a simple definition. How do you know whether you are experiencing that consciousness now or you are experiencing your mind? In mind, duality exists. Good and bad exists. Happy and sad exists. But in consciousness, nothing like that. Nothing exists like that. It's one steady state of existence, which does not get pulled into these dualities of life. Good and bad, merit and sin, happy and sad, success and failure, excitements and depressions, loving or hating, wanting or not wanting, as Ashtavakra said in the last time. All these ideas, even the idea of finding liberation also disappears in consciousness. Because in consciousness there is no vikara, there is no modification. And vikara comes in the mind. Vikara means any distortion or modification. That is the property of mind. But consciousness has no such properties. So when you experience that such kind of steadiness in your awareness, where you are not influenced or not carried away by the dual emotions, then alone you know that you are established in that consciousness. So somebody may say, oh, spiritual life is supposed to be a happy life, so I should be experiencing happiness all the time. No, that's not true. You should be experiencing nothing. You should be experiencing that steady state of awareness all the time. That is spirituality. That may appear to be happy or sad, but you can clearly distinguish, saying that something outside that is happy. It is not happy, or it is not sad. Outside it, there is happiness. Outside it, there is sadness. And you can distinguish and distance yourself from that. Only then you will be able to experience that consciousness. So what is the nature of this consciousness? As very difficult to define such a state of existence. People have used Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma. The ones who have gone through this experience, at best they could describe it in 3 words. Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam. Satyam is, it does exist. Though it is not seen, but it doesn't mean it does not exist. It does exist. And when does it exist? All the time. Truth exists across the time zones of past, present and future. It doesn't change. Then Jnanam, it is aware. It is completely aware of whatever is happening. But at the same time, it is not influenced by anything that is happening. That is the beauty of that experience of consciousness. It is aware that there is happiness happening around me. There is sadness happening around me. There is good happening, bad happening. But it does not get entangled in it. It doesn't get sucked into it. It doesn't get caught in that. It becomes aware that it is different from this. That awareness is the ability of consciousness. Then Anantam. What is its capacity? Infinite. Mind has limited capacity. It can understand this, it cannot understand something else. Bodies have limited capacities. Everybody is limited by their capacities. Somebody is a great athlete, somebody cannot even walk 100 meters. So many limitations. But consciousness is unlimited. It has no limitation. So these are the definitions our great ones have told, because there is no other way. In fact, the Kenopanishad Rishi says, na vidmo na vijanimo yat etad anushishyad. I do not know how to explain or teach to anybody else this consciousness, because na tatra chakshur gacchati, na vag gacchati, no manaha, because the mind does not reach there, the words do not reach there, these eyes do not reach there. Why? Because eyes see things, but they cannot see themselves like that. So this is the idea of consciousness, and that is the idea that our Ashtavakra is saying, this whole duality of life. I want this, I do not want this. This is favorable, that is unfavorable. This is desirable, that is undesirable. This is to be done, that is not to be done. This is dvesha, and that is raga. This is what you hate, that is what you love. All these ideas disappear in the one who has completely established himself in the consciousness as its true identity. So do these jnanis don't experience anything in the life? Do they sit like a stone and experience anything? They experience, but they don't attach themselves to the experience. They also, suppose they have losses in life, they also will undergo losses. There will be failures in life, there will be some setbacks in life, but they don't get affected by it. They don't get carried away by it. Maybe for a moment there could be a little shake, but beyond that they don't stay. It doesn't last for them. So very quickly they recover from this and move on. Whereas others, they get stuck there and they are unable to recover from that. If they get into depression, they go on going into depression further and further. So much that there is no recovery from there. Or they get into excitement, they become uncontrollable. But these jnanis, even for a moment they emote, it's only momentary. They immediately withdraw from that and stay. So their emotions are no real emotions. When you go to some jnani and tell a happy story, he may smile, laugh and even enjoy the story, but at the end of it, he is not going to be affected by that. He'll forget it and move on. That is why he said, forget everything. Ashtavakra says, forget everything. This habit of remembering all and sundry things and all, especially that which is unnecessary, nonsensical, forget all that first. Why carry that burden unnecessary? Because consciousness is like that. It won't remember things. It won't carry things with it. As in when it needs to know, it will know. Many people ask me, how do you get to know about people and what they did and what are they going to do and what is the future? I told, I get to know on a need to know basis. I don't personally put efforts to dig people's past and get into their minds and search for what their thoughts are and then impress them with my telepathy or whatever you call extrasensory perceptions. None of this is my business. I'm not interested also. Who wants to collect all that garbage information and keep in one's head? It clouds your judgment. It colors your relations. I'm not interested in all these things. Many people think Adhyatmika spirituality means get to know all this, get some powers and then you can show off and impress people around and everybody will become your disciple. In fact, my whole objective is not to have disciples at all. My objective is to make them self-sufficient, make them independent and get rid of them in a way. Otherwise, they will be hanging on to you forever. It's unnecessary burden. You're carrying everybody's burden. It's not necessary. So I feel that everybody realizes their self and gets away. I'm done with them and they're done with me. We are free. Otherwise, there are dependencies. I feel responsible. You feel entitled. That becomes a problem for me. So my whole job is to make sure that everybody realizes their own true selves and they're independent. They don't need me. I don't need them. We are all free. Can we ever reach that stage? I wonder. But I am hoping that someday some people at least will break free and then they will be independent. As yesterday I said, any dependency is born out of some desire, some transaction. Then you bend because you want something from someone. If you don't want anything from anyone, you are free. You are free. Who cares then? That carefree life is that of the jnani. Ashtavakra is saying, forget all that of the past, forget these dualities, forget about even attaining liberation. Just be. That is what he is saying. Don't burden yourself. Don't torture your mind with all kinds of thinking and deciding. Become free. That is his idea. Such a state does exist. And I know that state. That's why I can tell you. Need to know basis state exists. When you get to know what you need to know and do what you need to do, and then everything is forgotten. Then another time when you need to know, you get to know, you do what is you need to do, and you forget that. I don't carry anything at the end of my day in my head. Except sometimes there are some very difficult situations, then they stick around a little bit. If they go into your subconscious mind, you are in trouble. You shoo them away from the surface. Don't let them in. That's the idea. It's like a mosquito that has penetrated through your mosquito net. That's it. Now the whole night is going to bug you. Don't let them in the first place. Deal it with a distance, from a distance. That social distancing was there in COVID. Don't get too close, otherwise you will get infected. Same thing with these thoughts. Don't allow them too close. Deal with them from a distance. There was a teacher when I was in primary school. She would not allow any student to enter her staff office. From door only she'll ask, what is that you want? And she will ask and reply from there and send them away from the door. Never allowed them to step into her office. I don't know, she had that strange behavior. So if you go to her class, her office and say, may I come in? She will say no. Stand there, ask what you want and go from there. Because sometimes children can be real bugs. They can get inside with silly problems and waste her time. So she will ask from there, what is that you want to know? Ma'am, I want to go over this. Okay, go. But don't enter my room. That's the policy you should maintain. Thoughts have come. Happy thought has come. Let's become excited. Let's enjoy. Let's celebrate. Stop. From there, you tell me, what do you want from me? I want you to participate in this celebration because it's a happy celebration. Okay, I will participate. That's all you want? Now go. Don't linger around here. Don't hang around unnecessarily. Like that, you should shoo away these thoughts from the door. If you let them into the room, like that camel and that Arab, remember in the cold night, desert night, first the camel says, can I get my head inside the tent? And the Arab thinks, why not, poor camel, after all, my camel. He allows. After some time, the camel moves his legs inside the tent. Then the whole body inside the tent and Arab is out. So deal with your emotions from a distance. The moment emotions and thoughts are rising, tell them, show them their place, talk to me from there. Don't get anywhere near me. Because I have learned this. Anytime I allowed a thought to stay or linger on for too long, it gets into your subconscious mind. You don't realize it. Then what happens? You go to sleep and you dream of all those things. And you lose a good sleep. Why this you lost the good sleep? Because that thought entered your subconscious mind. Our mind is like the iceberg. What is seen is only the tip of the iceberg. The real one is below the surface of the sea. That's much bigger. And the subconscious mind is bigger than the conscious mind. It collects information not from today. From many, many lifetimes it has collected and stored that information there. And any time you spend little more than necessary time on any thought, emotion, activity, person or a situation, that gets registered in your subconscious mind. So when people ask me, how do you do things? Yesterday also one person was saying, the previous day I heard your speech. You literally summarized everything that 4 or 5 speakers had spoken before you. How do you remember so much? I told, I remember only for that moment. In computer, there is a thing called RAM, random access memory it is called. It takes the information only for that moment, processes it, does what it needs to do and throws it out. It doesn't store anything in it. It only is a processing unit. It doesn't, storage is another part of the computer. If you want to save the file, store it, then it becomes a permanent part of your hard disk. But RAM is only a temporary memory. It only deals with things as and when needed and then gets rid of it. And again, it is free. So it keeps processing information. So a Jnani's mind is like RAM. Call it RAM if you want. But that is how a Jnani's mind is. It only uses information for that moment, processes it, does what it needs to do and gets rid of it. It doesn't store it in its hard disk, in its storage system. It doesn't clog its system. That is why Jnanis are very fast, very sharp, very quick to decide, to do. They don't need time because their RAM is super fast. They've not clogged it with unnecessary information and memories. So they live very light. Ajnanis collect all the unnecessary information, clog their hard disks, clog their processing systems, and viruses enter, then destroy them. All this happens to the Ajnanis. Jnanis just use it as is necessary and then get rid of it. So many people come and tell, do you remember that time you met me? I have to really fake it, saying, yeah, I remember. I don't remember anything. But they will feel bad because for them, they met me once in 10 years. I meet 10,000 people in 10 years. How do I remember every one of them? Unless something very peculiar happened. So I don't remember, then people feel very bad. But then I also learned, the moment I apply my mind a little bit, some memory from the universe is downloaded. And immediately I get to know, this is the person, this. So the other side, people get surprised. How do you remember? Till a moment before, I didn't remember. I didn't know. That moment I get to know on a need to know basis. If the universe wants to reveal it to me, saying you better know this person and this is the reason you should know, I will know. After one more minute, I would have forgotten about it. So very nice shlokas will come on this particular way of functioning, RAM way of functioning. You just remember only for so much time and don't carry other things in your head. But before that, 16.7 is a very technical shloka, which says, Heyo padeyata tavat samsara vitapankuraha spruha jivati yavad vai nirvichara dashaspadam. He says this heya upadeya. Heya means discarding, upadeya means preserving. Or heya means rejecting, upadeya means collecting. This idea which we have heard already in the previous shloka, tavat samsara vitapankuraha. Till when does it happen to you that you want to accept and reject things? Till samsara vitapankura, till this samsara's seed is there in you somewhere deep. Like you cut the grass, but the seed is under the earth. It grows back. Like that, till that shoots are there, those seeds are there. You might feel that you have gotten rid of it on the surface. Why? Because you become a sannyasi, you have given up the worldly things, you have decided to live like a recluse. But deep under, those seeds of ideas of samsara are still there. Samsara means maya, means this attachment and delusion. Those seeds are there. On the surface, you feel very good. Like in this satsang in the last 75, 76 days, everybody will be feeling, I have become definitely better than what? Definitely you have become better than that. But have you gotten rid of it from the roots? That is the question. Have you uprooted it? We don't know. So till those roots remain, till those seeds remain, even little shoot of it remains, till then this drama of rejecting and accepting will go on and on and on. You cannot get rid of it. So how do you get rid of it? He says, Priha jivati yavatvai. Because of the desires with which you live. Desires are those seeds which are hidden under. Total desirelessness is what we studied yesterday, that is the true state of the self. So, Priha jivate yavatvai. Till you have any desire, they are like the seeds down under the surface, and one fine day when it rains, they will sprout and grow back again. And then once they grow back, again there is a forest over there of confusion and delusion and illusions and all the emotions. You are again caught in that forest. That is what happens. So he says, till how long will you go on rejecting and accepting things? It means swinging between the duality. Till there is even little last remains of desires in you, till then this will go on. Because those seeds will germinate in some time and start growing. A lot of people go to Tirupati, they shave off their head. Why they shave off their head? Because they are very sure that it will grow back. Suppose you come to know that if you go and shave your head, you donate your hair to the Tirupati Balaji. I don't know what he would do with the hair. It is only, the real reason was we want to get rid of our body consciousness. Because hair is our identity. We want to look good, we want to have hairstyle. But then, once you shave, there is no hair, no style, no identity. That was the idea why sannyasis shave off their heads, or people who go to temple, they shave their heads and offer their hair. Why did you get rid of hair? Because you didn't want to worry too much about your looks and body identity. That was the idea. Now, suppose you come to know that when you go to Tirupati, you really want to get rid of body identity which is equal to your hair, then you should pluck it out from the roots. Never it should grow back, right? If you are really sincere about losing the body identity through this ritual of shaving of the head. What's the point in losing it for 10 days and getting it back after 10th, 11th day, because hair grows back? Most of the people have the courage or whatever, the willingness to go and shave their head because they know very well that hair is going to grow back. Suppose it so happened that Tirupati Balaji says, I am very happy with your efforts to lose body consciousness. Here I blessed, your hair will never grow back on your head after you shave. Tell me how many people will go and shave their head. They'll say, I have yet to get married, I am yet to get a job, I have so many other things. They won't shave. That's why in Jainism, they would pluck their hair out from the roots. The guru who is giving Diksha would take the disciple's head and tufts after tufts, bunch after bunch, they'll just pluck it out from the root because it never grows back again. That is the idea, saying, till there is a little desire for the world left in you, those seeds, those vestiges are there somewhere inside you. This drama of rejecting and accepting and swinging between happy and sad will go on and on and on, and you can't get rid of it. Temporarily you may get rid of it like the hair shaven at Tirupati. But it will grow back. And that is the reason why you should get rid of the last vestiges of desires also from your mind. Spraha. Spraha means desires. Till you have jivati, spriha jivati, living with some desire in you, till then this will go on. So what is the ultimate state? Nirvicharaha. Nirvichara dashaspadam. That ultimate state is the state where there is no vichara, there is no thought at all. Till you reach there and get rid of all the desires, till then you will be swinging between this and that. So there is no peace. Because peace is when there are no thoughts, that is when you are at peace. Like in deep sleep, you are in deep peace. Why? Because there are no thoughts. Dream is not a peaceful state. In dream there are good dreams and bad dreams. But deep sleep is the peaceful state. Why? Because there are no thoughts. So this shloka says, even the slightest desire in you will cause this disturbance. Till you get rid of all the desires so that there are no thoughts that are remaining in you, you reach that exalted status of existence, till there is no relief from swinging between the positive and negative. You will be good devotee one day, bad devotee another day. Good husband one day, bad husband. Good wife, bad wife. It will go on, happy, sad, this will go on and on. So Ashtavakra feels pity and sad for people who are going on and on and on, caught in this cycle. No, it's like you can't get off it. You just caught there. It's like riding a tiger. You just can't get off it. So what do? He says, get rid of the desires. I just wanted to draw a parallel between this shloka where he says that the seed of desires grows into the tree of samsara eventually, and then a forest of this whole maya, from which you can never find a way out. You are stuck forever in the dark forests. Likewise, there is a shloka from just for academic purposes. Krishna describes in Bhagavad Gita that this whole universe or the whole creation is like a tree, but it is upside down. The roots are above and the tree is growing below. Generally what we see is trees grow, the roots are below in the earth, and then the tree grows above into the sky. But here the roots are above. This is a symbolic way of saying, don't start looking for a tree like that, it doesn't exist. It is just a symbolism. The tree's roots are above and the branches and shoots and flowers and leaves are below. That is the kind of tree this creation is. So it comes in our Purushottam Yoga, I think this word. The sloka 1 says, Urdhva Moolam Adhakshaka Ashwatham Prahuravyayam Chandams Yasya Parnani Yastam Veda Savedavita. It means Bhagavan is telling that this tree has roots on top and rest of it grows below. And this is a people tree. People tree, the fig tree. You have some in the ashram also. Now these fig trees are very peculiar because they have roots and they also have prop roots. To support those huge branches, they grow prop roots which again go and support. So this tree is growing how? Growing from the top, it seems. From the sky, the roots are there. It grows below and then spreads in all directions. And what are the various parts of the tree, he says? Prahu avyayam. This is indestructible, it seems, this tree. It has been there ever since the beginning of the creation. It was never a time that when this tree did not exist. Means this whole maya or illusion did not exist. It existed forever. Then what has happened? Chandams yasya parnani. Chandas means the Vedic mantras are its leaf. Because by looking at the leaf, you know the nature of the tree. If you look at the leaf, you say this is a people leaf or this must be a people tree. This is a mango leaf, this must be a mango tree. A botanist will tell you by looking at the leaf which tree it is from. Likewise, the Vedas are really the way to know the nature of this creation. Vedas will tell you what is this creation all about, like we are learning. What are the Vedas saying? All this is Maya. The real truth is self alone exists. The Vedic knowledge. So like that, the leaves are like the Vedic mantras, looking at which we can know the nature of the tree. And the one who knows these leaves, he knows the tree. That is what Yastam Veda Savedavid. That person alone is the knower who knows the truths of the Vedas, which describe this tree as a tree of illusion. A tree which can be only understood by understanding the truth which is within the Vedas. And what is the Vedic truth? Vedanta. The ultimate truth of Veda, the ultimate pinnacle of Vedic knowledge is Vedanta, which is Advaita, which is Upanishads. And we are reading one. This is an Advaitic text, Ashtavakra Gita. So it's not part of the Vedas, but the ideas are from there. There are no two, only one. So Advaita, that is the ultimate knowledge. So once you understand the Vedas, you understand that this illusion of trees or creation is always illusion. There is only one without the second. That knowledge you get. That is the first shloka. What does the second shloka say? Adhaschordhan prasthritastasya shakha. Adhaha means below and urdhva means above. And all directions, what is happening? Its branches are spreading. Like if you see a peepal tree and invert it, a fig tree invert it, you can imagine how it works. All the branches are spreading, some are growing up, some are growing down, some are growing in all other directions. That is what happens then. Guna pravradhaha vishaya pravalaha. Guna, remember rajas, tamas and sattvic gunas? That nature, the aptitude that we all have, the instincts that we all have, that is what fosters this tree, that is what nourishes the tree. If there are no gunas, this tree will die. As if the sap within its branches and the leaves and the trunk is the gunas, because of which the tree is surviving. If there is no sap, there is no force of life in the tree, it will die. What makes this tree keep growing? This guna. Rajas will make us do more work. It means we are opening more branches. Think of a businessman opening branches after branches of his office. So like that, these trees' branches grow in all directions, above, below, and all directions. Means sometimes we are going up, sattvic thoughts are there. Sometimes we are going down, tamasic thoughts are there. And sometimes we are in rajasic thoughts in between. This is urdhvam gachanti sattvastha, madhye tishtanti rajasaha, jaganya gunavrittisthaha, adho gachanti tamasa. That is what the gunas do. The good people, they grow up because of good qualities. The mediocre, the rajas, they grow sideways. And the worse ones, the tamasic people, grow downwards. So like that, this tree has branches growing in all directions, which has been nurtured by the gunas or the instincts which are there. And vishaya pravalaha, and vishaya, all these sense objects, they are the buds, the new shoots. When these gunas chase after the senses, then senses blossom, or the sense desires blossom. And then when that blossom, that will contain one more seed, that will create one more tree, and this life goes on like that. Life after life, we go on experiencing this. So the idea is that symbolically, the branches grow in all directions, nurtured by the gunas, three types, and the vishayas, all the desires for the sense objects, are the new buds. Every time a new desire arises, a new bud has arisen in that tree. That is how you have to imagine how the tree grows. Then adhascha mulyanu santani, adhascha moolan. Adha means below is these roots. Some of these roots are, as I said, some roots are coming from the top, and then it starts growing roots downwards also. Both directions. Original roots were from the top, but new roots, what you call prop roots of the peepal tree, fig tree, they are growing downwards, towards downwards, it says. What is the meaning? Karmanu bandhini manushloke. They are the karmas who bind us to the world. So think of God being the origin of everything, and symbolically God being above and world being below. From God originates this creation. The original roots are in God, but it develops new roots and gets stuck to the world. And that's how we get stuck in the world, because all the time our gunas are pushing us to do things that are pleasurable to the senses. And every time we do that, we are nurturing this tree of maya or illusion, and it is growing newer branches, newer leaves, newer buds, newer flowers, newer prop roots. And where are these prop roots growing? They are growing into the world and getting stuck there. That is how we are unable to get out of this. In the third shloka, he says, Krishna, how do we get rid of this whole tree? How do we get rid of this illusion? He says, Narupa masyeha tathopalabhyate. Its true form is never to be seen. It is only a symbolic form. Na anto na cha adinaha cha sampratishtha. There is no beginning, there is no middle, there is no existence of this tree. It's in our mind. It's a concept. It is a construct. We think all this world is real. We must chase after senses. We must grow in this direction, that direction. We must do this, we must do that. This is all in our mind. This tree does not really exist. Then what happens? Ashwattamenam suvirudha mula asanga shastrena drinena chitva. He says, these prop roots which are stuck to the world, take the sword or the weapon of asanga, detachment, and cut off this tree once for all. Let this tree not be there at all. It's like catching that snake which was never there. But till the snake you think is there, you are suffering, isn't it? Like that, till this tree, though it has no existence, It says, you can never find where is na rupam asyeha tadopalabhyate. You can never find where this tree is, because you cannot point a finger and say this is Maya and this is not the Maya in you. Your mind is like that. It makes you feel all this is real. It makes you run after all the things of the world. Makes it feel so real, and the more you run after it, the more you get stuck in it. So what is the way out? Develop detachment, like the weapon of detachment, and axe. Cut off all these branches and tree, and get rid of this tree once for all. This is symbolism of our Krishna, who describes how the creation is and how the world is and why it propagates itself and why we keep getting more and more stuck in this world. What are the reasons? And what is the way out? The way out is cut it off with dispassion. Same thing he is saying here. All this samsara will go on till the last seed is also there in you of a desire. This tree will grow back. Maybe not for next 1 year, you will still be very good. But 1 year later, because the seeds are there, this ashwatha will grow back. And once it grows, what will happen? It will grow more branches, more prop roots. And Shaubari Muni's story is the best story. He went underwater to do meditation, but ended up watching 2 fishes mating. And now he wanted a wife and children. And then he created a whole lot of things. He created 50 palaces to keep 50 wives. He divided himself in 50 forms, replicated, cloned himself to satisfy 50 wives. They had I don't know how many children. And after all that thing, finally one day when the king comes, he says, what have you done to yourself? You are a great rishi and now you have 50 wives and 50 palaces in which so many children and grandchildren live. You went for meditation and what have you ended up with? Then he realized, what have I done? He realizes, then he cuts off this tree, all the branches, all the children, grandchildren, and the ties with them through this passion. But good part is that he even gives Brahma Jnana to his wives and redeems them also. That was the story. How a man who goes for meditation ends up in samsara. Because of gunas, deep under some desire is there of having a family, children, or progeny and enjoying the samsara. Even though externally he was a muni, deep inside there was a desire. So you have to ask yourself. Many people come and tell me, Swami, bless me that I will remain forever a bachelor or a spinster. Then I ask them, really you feel from deep inside? Do you have no desire that you should have a wife and a child and a home and a little happiness of the family life? Ask yourself thoroughly. Ask yourself thoroughly. If you don't ever have that idea at all, then you are ready for this path. But even if a little desire is there, that I must have a family, I must enjoy some pleasures of the world, I must have children, they should come running after me, appa, mama, how nice you here. Then there is no redemption. Because if not now, after 50 years you will search for a wife. And I know enough people, I should not say it, but I have seen enough people whom I knew very well. They all had dedicated, committed to the life of brahmacharya, in the sense, to the life of celibacy and serve Bhagwan. And they were there, till Bhagwan was there, they were there. Some were 50 years old, some were 40 years old, some were 20 years old, different age groups. They were all there till he was there. And they were serving him also with great Shraddha, no doubt about it. But soon after Bhagwan left his physical mortal coil, so many of them who had argued with their parents and fought and made the parents cry that they will never get into married life and this is the end of it. Parents should forget that they had another son like him. All that argument, those who did in that excitement of initial, belonging to Bhagwan or initial proximity, they all are married. Then I asked, where did this idea come to them from? One of them I caught, whom I knew. I told, you were saying all these things. What happened suddenly? I don't know. I felt so lonely and no Bhagwan was not there. I didn't know what to do in life, where to go, who will be looking after me. So many thoughts started coming to me. At that point in time, I found this person. I felt very connected. They're also devotees, this, that, this. And now I'm married and I have this. I told, all right, that's nothing wrong or right in that. But you are the same person whom I have seen arguing with your own parents and making them shed tears because they felt crestfallen. What is this? I have lost my son to this Sai Baba. He will never come back to me. He will never have a family. They were shedding tears. I have seen all that in front of me. And now after 10, 20 years, everything has changed. And people I've seen, they're married at 55, 60. Those who are serving at the ashram. Why? Because they just didn't know what to do at 50, 55. Till their minds were busy, they were okay. But now they had nothing to do which they were doing so far. So what do I do with my life? All of them got married. Without exceptions actually, whom I knew. So where did this idea come to them from? What was that celibacy all about? What was that commitment to brahmacharya all about? It was momentary. It was influenced by the presence of Bhagwan. That attraction for Bhagwan, that excitement to be around him and serve and be, seen and known. That's all it was. That's why I said, what you do when nobody is watching is what you are. What you do when everybody is watching is not who you are. What you do when nobody is watching is the real person that you are. So the question is that, so many people I've seen like that, till they have those vestiges of desire somewhere inside them. Little seed is remaining. Of course, on the surface, everything has been removed. But deep under, some little desire is there. Whatever, for wealth or for wife or for some name, fame, popularity. That is why it will grow back again. And there is no end to your misery, because of that you will be swinging between, I want this, I don't want this. I have to have this, I should not have this. These are mine, those are not mine. This will go on and on and on. This samsara chakra will go on for those who have even the smallest desire left in them. So you have to really check yourself whether you have the smallest desire also in you. Absolutely clear you should be that you should not have any desire. And if you have even little doubt that you might have a desire, then you better do some self-investigation and find out whether it is just a temporary influence or is it really there under. And then behave accordingly. Because if you try to behave like somebody else, you will be miserable any which ways. So dharme nidanam shreyaha. Better die doing what you have got to do than copy somebody else. Of course, it's good to aspire to become a jnani, aspire to become a sannyasi, but not unless you have given up all the desires. Harboring so many desires in your heart and also wanting to lead a spiritual life, this is nonsense. This is you're fooling yourself and fooling everybody around you. You will not get this, you will not get that also. So you have to be very clear. That's why I tell these boys and girls also. And Narayan Bhatta has written a very beautiful book. When he envisaged the idea of a missionary organization, he tells, everybody has desires. But those who have very little desire, there is a good possibility that they will be able to overcome that, because their obstructions are of very small nature. The intensity is also very little. For them, it might be okay to overcome and cross over to the other side quickly. But those who have very strong desire for the world and the worldly pleasures, they rather not join this path, he said. They can serve from outside, support in whatever way you can. Because this path is only for those who have almost no desire or maybe very little desire, which they can overcome with good company and good habits and good reading. They can join this path. He was very clear, he told that. And that is why he had put a rule in place. We should keep these people, train them for a certain number of years. 5 to 6 years they should stay in this environment, do what is being told to do. And after they are thoroughly tested that they have really become free of all this, then only we should formally include them into the mission. Till then they should be just as interns or trainees and just watch them. Don't make them a permanent part of the mission. He was very clear. And where did he get this idea from? From Christian missionaries. They have these seminaries where people are trained and then tested for some time. After that only they include. Ramakrishna Mission does that. You can go to Ramakrishna Mission and say, I want to become a sannyasi, a monk. Why? Because your wife has divorced you or you lost everything in the business. 100 reasons you want to become a monk, right? Not everybody wants to become a monk for God. They want to run away from the difficulties of life. So also they want to become monks. So Ramakrishna Mission is very clear. Good, you have come, take the whatever training. After that, we'll watch you for a certain number of years. After that, we will decide whether we will include you or incorporate you into our mission or not. Whether we will make you a part of our mission. If not, you might have to go back after 5, 6 or 7 years of staying and doing everything that we asked you to do. So they were very clear, because it is not for everyone. This path is not for everyone. Even slightest desire can again come back. What is the point in taking monkhood and then running away? A lot of Buddhist monks I've seen. So Buddhist monk has an open door policy, Buddhist monasteries. You can come, become Buddhist monk, you take training, you live like a monk, bhikkhu, and after some years, if you don't want, you can go back and marry and continue your life as it is. These are for those who tried but realized after some time, not my cup of tea. Ramakrishna Mission says, no, there is nothing called going back. We will rather test you thoroughly and decide, and once you have decided, there is no going back. It is one way only, no open door policy here. So Narayan Bhatt also borrowed from that, saying that if It's very difficult to not have any desire. But if you have little desire which you think you can overcome with the help of the surroundings and other like-minded people, then by all means join. Still take 5-6 years to figure that out for yourself before you become a permanent part of it, because that was his original idea. I have modified it a bit because I realized the times have changed. And if we demand that kind of monkhood, then probably there will be nobody sitting in this room without any one single desire. Then how are you going to do any good to anybody? So we have lowered the thresholds, lowered the bars, and said, okay, if you have minimal desire, and if you should have a desire, a selfless desire, you are still okay. Selfish desire, not okay. Why you are joining the mission? Good salary, nice accommodation, healthcare is free, parents will be looked after, I don't have to have the tension of targets, I don't have to worry about timings, I don't have to go here, there, stuck in the traffic. All this is easy. So I want to join this mission. No, that cannot be the reason you want to join this mission. That's why I told the other day, you are missionaries, you are not employees. Employees will think like this: what benefits will I get if I join? How much will be my salary? What are the other purposes? What are the other facilities? And that is how employees think. How much time I have to work? When can I go home? But missionaries don't think like that, right? Missionary life is 24/7 life. So this is for those who are getting good education and good facilities, and similarly applies to devotees also. Nice place here. Instead of lying somewhere in some old age home and paying through my nose, this is a nice place. Take an apartment here. Hospital is next door. Food is available. I don't have to cook also. And if something happens, there are very nice, kind people around me. They will definitely come to my rescue and help. We are not running an old age home here. We are not running an old folks home. Yes, if you are old, you can stay here, but that is not the reason why you have come here, to find the comforts and security of a good place. You have come here to realize the self. In that process, whatever happens, you are a student, you will get education. You are a working person, you will get an employment. You are a devotee, you will get facilities. You are an elderly person, you will get the care. That is secondary. The primary reason is you want to realize the self. You are a seeker. Then only you should come here. Recently, we have opened more apartments like Q Block. Left, right, and center applications are coming. Our Krishna Shubhaga keeps forwarding all those applications to me. Every application I go through, I ask a few questions. Why they want? I never seen them here in these many years. What seva do they do wherever they are at their home? In what way have they participated in this mission or any other mission anywhere? No answers. Then why they want an apartment over here? One, cheap accommodation, free food, electricity, water, hospital next door, good community, safe and secure, no thefts, no crime. Where you will get all these benefits in the world outside? So they are applying for the apartment. So this is not being built for such people. This is built for seekers, these are built for missionaries, these are built for sevaks. Don't simply give everybody. So I told no application should be permitted without me seeing it. So every single application I approve. And if they have hidden some information, I ask them, tell me about all these things, then we will decide whether we want to give an apartment or not. So that is the idea. Even a smallest desire later can turn it all against you. You'll waste it all. A lot of people have done that. Halfway through, they realized this is not for them. And they went back into the world. So intensely they went back that there was no coming out of it again. It's like starving for many days and suddenly you get to eat food, You jump and eat and everything till here you eat. Like that these people, they have starved themselves of worldly pleasures for so long. Suddenly they halfway realize, no, this is not for me. They go back and they go back with such force and intensity that they lose the balance altogether. Both should not happen is the question. Next shloka. Pravruttau jayate rago nivruttau dvesha evahi nirdvando balavad dhimaneva meva vyavastitaha. Balavat dhiman. Very beautiful thought. It says, Pravrutto jayate rago. When you are in the external worldly path, you develop attachments to things. Nivrutto dvesha evahi. And when you are on the internal path of spirituality, you develop aversion or some kind of a hatred for the worldly things. That is what we do. The sannyasi sees the samsari and hates them. What a lowly life they are leading, running behind senses and pleasures and worldly things. Because he hates all those ideas. Whereas the person who is involved in the world, he is so enjoying the world. And he thinks this is what it is, this is life. Nothing beyond that. I don't need anything else. This is all that I ever wanted. Money, wealth, power, name, fame, pleasures. What more do I ask for? So both are two kinds of people. Pravrutta means those who are externally driven, they love the world. Those who are internally driven, they hate the world. But he says both are stuck because this is duality. Hating or loving is duality. So duality is not consciousness. Neither you need to hate the world nor you need to live the world. World is what world is, that's it. Deal with it objectively, dispassionately. That's all is the Ashtavakra Gita all about. Bhagavan would say, let the boat be in the water, water not be in the boat. Let you be in the world, let the world not be in you. That is the idea. There is nothing to hate, nothing to love here, that's it. It is what it is. Take it objectively, deal with it as it comes. Don't get attached unduly. These are the simple ideas. He says, how should you live then? Because generally I have these ideas. I love something, I hate something. Till yesterday I was a worldly person, I hated the sannyasis. Today I have become a sannyasi, I am now hating the worldly. What kind of life is this? Your nature has not changed. You are hating that time also, you are hating now also. Only your external clothing has changed, that's all, and the people whom you hate has changed. But have you changed in the inside? No. So what is the point? So he says, how do we live then? He says, nirdvandvo, without this duality. Are there people who can live without duality like this? Yes. Balavat dhimana evameva vyavastitaha. Balavat means like children. Like children you live. They hate nobody, they love nobody. It appears today they love you because you gave the chocolate. Tomorrow you don't give the chocolate, they will only hate you. So what is Ashtavakra saying? Balavat dhimana. Have the thinking of a child. Children fight today, they become friends tomorrow. They'll fight again the day after. No guarantee that they'll be friends forever. But again, after they want to play with each other, they need two teams, they will again get together. They don't have these attachments or hatred like the elders. This idea, what is saying, heya upadeya, or this idea of raga, dvesha, both don't exist in these children. In fact, as the children grow up, then it becomes more and more in them because they are taught by the society, these are our people, those are others, don't deal with these people, they are not good to us, they are our enemies. These ideas are planted into the pure mind of the children. But if you leave children to themselves, they'll fight now, next moment they'll be friends, they'll fight again and again become friends later. They don't mind, they don't have egos like us. So he is telling this whole idea of hating the world or loving the world, hating the sannyasa or loving the sannyasa. This loving, hating idea is the idea which is incorrect. How should you live? Live like a child in this world. Don't mind. Something good happens, okay, we enjoyed it. We fought with that also, we enjoyed. Children play in the sand. If you see, they make castles out of the sand. Very nicely they make, with a moat around it and tunnels through it. And they enjoy it and then put a flag on top of it and build a wall. Seaside, they do all these things. But when it becomes dark, what do? Your parents say, it's time to go home. Let's go. They don't leave the castle as it is, that they will come back tomorrow and enjoy how beautiful it is. They jump on it, break it, destroy it, and enjoy that destruction also. Have you seen that? Anybody who has made a sand castle should know this. They don't keep it saying that it should remain permanent because we put so much of effort. Tomorrow, day after, 100 years also, this castle should stay there. They have no such demands. They jump on it, destroy it, and enjoy that destruction as much as they enjoy the creation. That is the child's mind. Free mind. That is the beauty of this Ashtavakra. It says, be like a child, and all jnanis are like children only. Innocent like children. Not childish, childlike. Innocent. Most of the jnanis you meet, there is such innocence in their eyes. There is so much of sweetness in their demeanor. There is so much of free kindness and compassion in their ways. All jnanis are like that. They might initially be, when they are on the way to becoming jnani, they might be having a lot of do's and don'ts, ifs and buts. But once they become jnani, all these things disappear. A childlike innocence descends in their heart. And they don't hold anything in their heart. Today's thing is done today and dusted. Like today's fight is over today. Tomorrow we are back again to play with each other. We don't mind yesterday's fight. Like that, the children are so innocent and pure. They don't carry the burden of the past nor the worry of the future. They just enjoy the present. And they know Nothing lasts. Those sand castles won't last. But it is a joy to create them, and it is equally a joy to destroy them. And no fights, no demands, no attachments, no tears. Oh, my castle. That is the life of a jnani, that is the life of a child. Live like that, he is saying. Tell us how many of us can live like this? Not possible. We get attached to what we create, and we feel sad when we lose it. Everything is transactional for us. If I spend 3 hours doing something, it should have some monetary results. It should have some outcome. Children have no problem. 3 years, they can just fool around, do nothing. They come back with happiness in their heart. That is the outcome. That unburdened joy. They come back with that. After playing, sweating, panting, falling, hurting, yet they're happy. If I do 3 hours of this work, how much will I get paid? What will be the outcome? Will I learn something? Will this lead to some success? So many ideas in our head. Children are like that. They just live in the moment, enjoy the life, be done with it. Next day we will see next day what happens. But what I am saying, the childlike behavior, means they don't carry so much of burden. What will I get out of it? Will I get a gold medal? Will I get this? Will I get? They're happy. It's the parents who are getting tensed. Today, nowadays I see, right, if examination is of the child, parents are under tension. And can you believe people come to interview and what do they pray? Please make him get first rank. Please let this, what class he is in? 6th class, 7th class. Parents demand like this, they pray like that. I tell, think of some better prayer. You are coming to me, not some school teacher. Ask for something higher. All you are asking is, one day my parent was arguing, my child is not doing well in your school. So I asked, what happened? He got only 92%. I said, 92% is damn good. I never got 92%. How are you saying he is not doing well? Last year he got 94%. That is the problem. Child is not bothered whether it is 94 or 92. Parents are bothered. 94 से 92 कैसे हो गया? That's why Ashtavakra is saying, forget, don't be like those parents. Be like the children. Balavat dhimana. Your mind or disposition of your mind should be like that of a child. It does what it needs to do and enjoys and forgets it. Now calculating the outcomes of it. What will I get out of it? What will I not get out of it? He doesn't think like that. Child doesn't think like that. Parents, grown-ups think like that. Everything is business for them. So be steady, vyavasthitaha. Be steady in that state like that of a child. That is why Jesus Christ says, he lifts up a child from the street and says, he is the greatest in the kingdom of God. The child, with a running nose, disheveled hair and dirty clothes, lifts him up and says, he is the greatest in the kingdom of God. Why? He has no such problems of hating and loving, wanting and not wanting. He is free from all these things, just like God is free. So can we become like children? Very difficult, because you have to unbecome a lot of your adulthood to become like a child. So when I always say, it is very good if you forget things, because as you grow old, you forget things. This is a part of your aging. You become like child. It's a great time. You again become like child. You don't remember a thing what you said. But people around you don't treat you like a child. They expect you to behave like an adult, which you can't, because you're forgetting things. And I went to Singapore. We run that Swami home, beautiful place for elderly with dementia. They are all like children. You go and sit there in amidst them. They are like children, play fighting, arguing with each other over small things, because they are given some activities to do to keep their minds busy and limbs working. But they have forgotten everything. They forget they have eaten breakfast or not. They forget who is their family. But they enjoy each other's company, playing things like children. So when I went there, somebody said, it's so unfortunate these elderly are going through that. I told, this very, very good thing that they are going through this. Otherwise, they would have carried all the memories of all the good and bad they have done in life. Whom they have hurt, who hurt them, what went wrong, what went right. All that burden of memories was there in their head. Now they've got dementia, Alzheimer's or whatever. They don't remember a thing. They're free. We may look at them and think, what a pitiable state. Can't recognize her own grandson or great grandchildren. She's not bothered. She's happy, laughing and joking and even fighting with the others around for a little points to win the game. And next day she's forgotten everything. Another day starts for her, totally fresh. I said, this is a blessed life. If they get good care, that is. If they have a Swami home-like place where they are secure and safe, it's a blessed life. Why carry all these memories and burdens? All life till the end, even the deathbed, only thoughts that bother us are all the things that went wrong in our lives. So all I'm saying is that the childlike life is a blessed life. And all these people were childlike. Ramakrishna Paramsa was like that. If one day Vivekananda didn't turn up, he will cry, go to Mother Goddess and cry. Today Naren has not come. What have you done to him? Go tell him to come. I have to see him. He won't eat. He will fight, cry and make a fuss, throw tantrums like children do when they don't get to play or they don't get to see their playmates or friends. They are restless. They behave like that. And so it's very difficult to understand what is this jnani or agyani. How is he so attached and behaving like that? But he is only for that moment, like a child he behaves like that. Next moment he will forget things and get busy with something else. So can we live a life like this? We live only in the present. We don't live in the past. We don't live in the future. We don't live with prejudices and preferences. Can such a life be ever ours? Can we ever be free like this, like the children? Ashtavakra says, yes. If you can make yourself like a child, innocent and pure, carry no desires whatsoever, no dependencies, you can also live like that. You can also live this free life. Next sloka 16.9. Hatu michhati samsaram ragi dukkha jihasaya vitarago hi nirdukha tasmin napi na khidyati. Another beautiful idea. He says, Hatu michhati samsaram, to get rid of the samsara. Who? The ragi, who is attached to the samsara. Now, why should you get rid of samsara? Only because you are attached to it. If you are not attached to it, let the samsara be doing what it is doing. It doesn't affect me any which ways. But you are attached to samsara, so you have this desire for what? Dukkha jihasaya. You are putting efforts to get rid of samsara, and that is the cause of your pain and burden. Trying to get rid of worldly attachments is the cause of your sorrow, he says. Let it be there. As long as it is not harming you or you are not getting entangled, let it be there. What is the point in going and destroying things around you? Not necessary. You just be. Let the samsara be. You also be. Don't disturb that, that won't disturb you. Simple as that. Trying to get rid of that samsara, no, I must get rid of the body consciousness. So to here onwards, I will eat only one meal a day. I will wear only these many things. I will not talk to these many people. I will do maunavratam. Why? I want to get rid of the samsara. That becomes a burden. Then your whole mind is on your meals only. When is the next meal coming? When is the next meal coming? Instead, eat a little every time and be happy. Why this kind of insistence? Live a moderate life, that's all it requires. But these people who have now suddenly read some few scriptures, gone to some spiritual retreats, met some gurujis, and now what is the idea? I must get rid of this samsara somehow. This samsara is coming in the way. Samsara is not the problem. You are the problem. Your mental attitude towards the samsara is the problem. Samsara by itself is not a problem. World is world. It is neither right nor wrong. Your attitude is right or wrong. Set your attitude right instead of destroying things around you or running away from the world. It's not possible to run away from the world because the world is everywhere. You will find faults with things everywhere. Inside of you, if changes, you will be happy anywhere. So he is saying this whole idea of getting rid of the samsara, this attached fellow goes through misery, untold misery and tiredness and burden because he wants to get over his samsara attitude. But what happens? Vitarago hi nirdukha tasmin napi na khidyati. Whereas the one who has gotten rid of the attachment to samsara, vitaragaha. A samsara is there, but I am not attached to it. Vitarago hi samsara, nirdukha. He becomes free of sorrow. Tasmin napi na khidyati. Even if he is in samsara, he is not affected, he is not burdened, he is not disturbed by it. The one who is attached to samsara only is disturbed by the idea of getting rid of samsara. The one who is not attached to samsara, let the samsara stay there. How does it matter? He is not attached to it. That is the idea. Be in the world, let the world not be in you. Why? Because you are not interested in the world. Developing disinterest is the whole idea. Why? Because once you have no interest in it, let it be in front of you, in behind you, around you, above you, below you. How does it matter? You have no interest in it. Likewise, it becomes. Think of a dog. Many people now, you can't call them dogs by the way, okay? They are their babies and children and whatever. And they have a name and you better respect that. And I was watching a video where such a baby, the four-legged baby has inherited millions of dollars. of wealth somewhere in Europe, and that keeps getting passed on. So when that baby dies, they adopt another one, and the inheritance passes on to the next one. He has butlers, he has caretakers, he has a palace to live in, because before dying, the caretakers who did not have real children, they adopted canine and then wrote all their inheritance to them, created a trust and a whole organization around which has to look after this fellow. And when he dies, what happens to the wealth and foundation? Because they are short-lived. One more has to be adopted, it seems, of the same breed, same whatever color and things like that, and named the same way, and then this fellow will continue to inherit the wealth. What kind of madness is this? I don't understand. In fact, there is a story, and somewhere I had read this. Some Jnani comes to Janaka, hearing about Janaka has become a Jnani and detached king. He wanted to know, how is this fellow really enjoying? He lives like a king, he drives all nice cars and lives in bungalows, wears nice clothes, and then he says he's a Jnani. How is it possible? Let me go and see him. How does he live? So he comes to Janaka and says, I have heard about you that you have become a Jnani and all that. I am still struggling to be a Jnani, but you don't seem to be looking like a Jnani, because you seem to live in luxury. And how can a Jnani live in luxury? By definition, or by the common perception or opinion, a Jnani should be beggarly, torn clothes, Shirdi Baba avatar basically. It should look like that, living in a broken house, no window, no air conditioning, no fan, no light, no electricity, no food, must beg daily, and only if he gets to eat, then he eats, otherwise he goes hungry, and wears torn clothes. That is the impression of a man of wisdom in India, right? Anywhere for that matter. But Janaka was not like that. So this man comes to test him. He tells him, please come, and puts a huge meal in front of him. Lot of items, because he's a king, he can do anything. And this fellow is never eaten so much, starving for so long. He is so very excited. He says, before he starts to eat, Janaka says, wait, there is one ritual I have. Then he brings a sword, a real sword, heavy one, and hangs it on top of his neck of that fellow with a thread, thin thread, like thin as a hair. And then he says, now eat. Then this fellow says, how do I eat with this sword hanging when it will fall on my neck? He says, that is how I live in this world. Janaka says, I am a king, but I am completely aware of the real nature of this world, which is like the sword hanging on the neck, and while you are eating, it can cut you anytime. So I don't enjoy. How will you enjoy your food, you tell me, with a sword hanging on your neck? You are always conscious of the sword. Can you really even feel the taste of things that have been kept in front of you? No, because your mind is not here. Your mind is on the sword. You seem to be eating, but you are not enjoying any of these things. You seem to be filling your belly, but you don't even realize whether you eaten or not. Why? Because your mind is watching the sword all the time, when it will fall on me. He says, I live in the world like this. I know these worldly pleasures are very interesting, very enticing, very charming, but I am always aware of the truth that is hanging up on my neck. My mind is on that truth, not on these worldly things. That is how I live like a king. He teaches that to the Ajnani who had come to test him. That is how these people live. There is no need of getting rid of things. No, I don't want to eat, throw away all these things. We have to eat, we will eat. But getting engrossed so much that we'll eat only this, not anything else, this has to be this way, that kind of particularity is not there in these people. So as a Janaka, as a king, he has learnt all these things. So that is why our Ashtavakra says, what happens to such a person who is not desirous of getting rid of the world? World, let it be there. It is doing its thing, I am doing my thing. Why bother it? Then what happens? Vitarago hi nirdukhaha. He becomes free because he is not attached to the world. He becomes free. And then what happens? Tasmin napi na khijjati. Even though he is in the world and dealing with the world like Janaka is dealing with his kingdom and people and subjects and decisions, he is not affected by it. He is not burdened by it. He is not feeling a sense of disturbance at all. He is not troubled by any of these things. That is the way of these Jnanis. That is how one should become, is the idea. Let the world be there. What is the world going to do to us if we don't engage with it? Nothing. It's like many times we are going on this road, suddenly a snake is passing. What do our parents say? Let the snake pass. You don't go and disturb it. It will go its way. That is what we do. We just stand, wait for it to go, and then we continue. Snake is not coming after you. It has no interest in you unless you go and trouble it. So don't go and disturb that world. Honeybees are there. Don't disturb their hive. They will not come and sting you. Let them do what they are doing. You do what you are doing. What is your problem? Why go and get unnecessarily interested, involved with the world? Don't get involved, he's saying. Let the world do what it is doing. It is its nature. You stay away. That's what we can do. When we were small, children were there. There were bullies and tricky fellows also in the class. What will parents say? You don't go and play with them. Why do you want to go and play with them? You go and play with those who are good people. Why do you go and disturb them? Because if you go to them, they are definitely going to trouble you. That is their nature. Same thing. World's nature is like this. Dukkhalayam ashashvatam anityam. Don't go and get involved with it. Let the world be where it is. You be where you are. Don't get involved. So these people, because of no attachment and desire, are never involved in the world. So even if the world exists, it does not affect them. It does not affect them. Let the world exist. Does not affect them. Like I said, the dog is not affected by all the pampering and celebrity state. It never wants it in the first place. But if it comes to it, what can it do? It deals with it. That's it. It doesn't feel the value of it. Doesn't want it in the first place. But we don't realize it, so we keep running behind the world and always are in this loop of doing and not doing and enjoying and not enjoying and rejecting or accepting. It goes on and on. And whole life is sukha prapti, dukkha nivritti. Running away from something or running towards something. Whole life is that. Nothing else is life. This is what you must get rid of. That's why Krishna says, Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vaja. Forget about all doing and not doing. Just come to my feet, sharanam. Take refuge at my feet. Means do everything that is inspired by me. That is what it means. Here dharma does not mean religion. Dharma does not mean duties. Dharma means this sense of doership. Oh, I am born to do this, so I must do this. No, give up all that. Just come to me. Come to whom? The inner divine. Let the divine inspire your thoughts, words and actions. That is Sarvadharman Parityajya. Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja. Do come to the divine and let the divine inspire you. As yesterday also was mentioning, Gyanis also are very active in the world. But they don't do things because they want to do it. They are not driven by their mind or desires or ambitions. They are driven by the inspiration that comes to them from the divine who is sitting inside their hearts. Who tells, build a hospital. It is good for the world. I know there will be difficulties and challenges, but that is none of your concern, because it was not yours in the first place. You are not the doer in the first place. So just go ahead and do that. At some point, Narasimhamurthy sir came to Bhagavan and said, why are we opening so many schools? One school at a time we will open. Then he asked him, are you doing? Then what is your problem, he said. Are you doing? If you are not doing, then if you are not the doer, then why are you becoming the enjoyer? You just carry out the command that has been given. Then onwards, the policy is very simple. We are like daily laborers of God. We wake up and show up. And then God says, today you have to build this wall. Tomorrow you have to dig a pit. Day after you have to clean that spot. We just do that. End of the day, we submit all our tools and equipment and go back to sleep. That is how one should live in this world. Beyond that, one should not take responsibility of things. If they take, then they will suffer like this. Just only so much. So an inspired life is an amazing life. It's a free life because you don't have any burden of doership or enjoyership. You are carrying out somebody's command. I mean, these workers are working, thousands of them. Do you think they care that it is getting inaugurated or not inaugurated? They are come here, today's job they'll do. Pay them, they're happy. They're gone, they go away. I would suffer, you would suffer because we are attached to the project. Why would the laborer suffer? He's just doing his job for the day for what he's paid. And he's done with it. Live like that is the idea. Live like that. Do what you got to do, inspired by the divine, and then continue to live in a free way. 16.10 it says, Yasyabhimano mokshepi dehepi mamata tatha nacha jnani nava yogi kevala dukkha bhagasau. This is on page number 295. This is also the plight of those, Who are those people? Yasya abhimano moksheha. Means the one who is desirous of moksha. Oh, I must attain liberation. That is the end purpose of my life, goal of my life. Let me do this, let me do that for that moksha. That is one type. Then, dehepi mamata, but at the same time they have attachment towards body also. Or even if they don't have attachment towards the body, there are two kinds. One who want moksha and who want the body, desirous of the body. And there are in between these Trishankus who say they want moksha, but they actually are desirous of the body or the world. What happens to those people, these confused souls? Nacha jnani, neither they are jnani, nava yogi, nor they are yogis who are practicing things. Kevalam dukkha bhagaso, they are only sufferers in this process. They say one thing, they do another thing, they are sufferers only. We all say we want God. But do we really want God? If God comes to us and says, let's go, time to go, come, I'll take you to heaven. Then we will come up with a list of excuses. I would have come, but my daughter is still in 6th standard. My son is just about to enter the college. Therefore, I cannot leave them and come. Some story we will start. So we really don't mean it when we say it. So these are those people. Neither they are here nor there. They are so desirous of moksha. If they are so desirous that they abandon everything, give up all the duties, in the sense they run away from responsibilities in the name of attaining God, they are also not real jnanis. And those who want to control their senses, mind, and do sadhanas and this and that, they are also not real yogis. The ones who are beyond both are real jnanis and yogis. Who are these people then? They are dukkhis. Full time they are miserable. They are angry all the time. Many people I have seen, they go on the spiritual path, they get upset so quickly. They are more angry than normal people on earth. But they say one thing, they do another thing. That is the problem. That is why they are neither this nor that. They are the Trishanku Swarga, we know, right? That king Trishanku, who wanted to go to heaven and then he went to conquer heaven. He wanted to go in his body. He did not want to die and go to heaven. So Indra God said, this is not possible. He went to Brahma. Brahma said, not possible. Then he went to Vishwamitra, saying, this Indra, Brahma, nobody is listening to me, but there is nobody greater than you. You please send me to heaven without me dying. Vishwamitra took it on his ego, saying, what? They refused and you take refuge in my feet, at my feet? Wait, I will do it for you like that. Many students are very clever. If they want some exemption, they will go to that teacher who is fighting with another teacher. So they'll go to the teacher A. Teacher A will say, I am not going to give you this exemption. They'll go to B and say, sir, that A teacher did not give me exemption. You alone are my refuge. You alone can give me. Yes, I will give. How dare he not give you exemption? There he goes. Like that he went and invoked Vishwamitra's ego. Vishwamitra said, I will show you, it will be done. And he started sending him to the heaven. And from there, Indra started pushing him down. So Vishwamitra was creating a parallel heaven because Indra refused to give his heaven to this Trishanku. Vishwamitra was creating a parallel heaven. Then Brahma and all came and told, this is not done, don't do this. And finally he said, okay, I won't do it. Now Trishanku's plight was, he was neither in the actual heaven nor in this heaven. He was stuck in between somewhere, they say, hanging upside down. Duvidha mein dono gaye, maya mili naram. You didn't enjoy the world, nor you enjoyed God. That is why that song I keep reminding. Samsar se bhage phirte ho, Bhagwan ko kya tum paoge? Is lok ko to apna na sake, us lok ko kya apnaoge? You are running away from the world thinking you will find God. You couldn't accept the world that was created by God. What will you accept God on the other side? Just be is the thing. Enjoy everything, don't get attached. As in when, like children, they enjoy that moment and then they are done with it. They don't carry it as memory for tomorrow to deliberate over it. They forget everything by that. So these people who are neither here nor there are only sufferers. The last shloka is 16.11 on 297. It says, Haro yadyupadeshta te harihi kamalajopi va tathapi na tava swastham sarva vismaranadrute. Back to the first shloka which says, forget everything. Don't carry memories. Don't carry thoughts in your heart. Don't trouble yourself. Sarva vismaranadrute. Be in a state where you have forgotten everything. In the sense, nothing matters to you. What is the meaning of the shloka? It says, Haro means Shankara, Yadupadeshta. If Shankara himself, Lord Shiva himself comes and gives preachings to this person, teaches him, or Harihi, Vishnu himself comes, or Kamala Jopiva, or Brahma who is born out of the lotus. All these three also come and give discourse to this fellow. Nothing happens to him. Till he has learned to forget everything, he will understand nothing of their discourses. It means till his heart is empty of all desires, of ideas, of memories of the past and the worries of the future. Such a person, even if the Trimurtis come and teach him the wisdom, will not attain wisdom. He will not attain the status of swasthyam. Swasthyam means the status of yourself. Swastha means the one who is abiding in the self. The one who has not forgotten the burden of the past is still carrying all those memories and ideas, emotions, attitudes, prejudices, preferences. Such a person, even if taught by the best of the teachers, Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, would learn nothing, is what he is saying. Because he is not an eligible student. He has not yet practiced detachment. He has not yet practiced letting go of the past. He has not yet practiced forgetting all is old. Still carrying them all and wants to learn. How can you fill a cup which is already filled? That Zen master story goes. He starts pouring into a cup, says, let's have tea. And the cup is overflowing. After some time, the disciple loses the patience and says, I have come here long distance to learn wisdom from you, and you invited me for a tea ceremony. Okay, at least we would have had tea, but you are going on pouring. The tea is overflowing. Everything is getting wasted. Then he told, you have come here like this cup full already with lot of ideas in your head of what is wisdom, what is God, what is realization. Empty your head and come, then we will talk. So these people whose heads are not empty, they are so busy with worldly thoughts, all the time thinking, deciding, doing, enjoying, rejecting, accepting, running away or running towards. For such people, even if Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara come and teach them all these great things, nothing will enter their head. That is the end of the chapter where he says, first you become eligible. And the eligibility is get rid of all your ideas, instincts, vasanas, memories, desires, attachments, and your opinions, attitudes, instincts, dispositions. Empty yourself all this. Then when I tell something to you, you will learn. Because two swords cannot stay in the same scabbard, right? That is how you cannot learn anything unless you are free of your past and your memories and your doerships and enjoyerships, all that you have to put efforts towards. So next time when a thought is troubling you, you should remember Ashtavakra said, I will be a useless disciple. I will learn nothing if I am carrying all these thoughts in my head. So immediately you should become alert and watch out and say, I must discard it. I was telling some people yesterday was a very difficult day for me because somehow so many things did not go right for us. Of course, you wouldn't even realize that it was a difficult day for me because I will not behave like that. But it was quite a disturbing day and difficult day for so many things. With the timelines being very short approaching, nothing's working out. So I was quite irritated. And then once you get irritated with that, once a negative idea sets in, it brings all its cousins also with it. Every time you had failed in the past, every time things didn't go right, every time things went against, all those memories will start flooding in your head. And you'll start thinking, no, this time also things will go wrong, this time also things will fail, this time also things will go awry. You know how quickly the mind clutches and grasps you with its negativity, and not alone. That one single thought of yesterday's problem alone won't trouble you. All related thoughts to it, from not now, from some childhood memories, everything will come and settle on your head and start eating your head. No, all this will go wrong, that will go wrong, this will go wrong. You become paranoid. But luckily I have read Ashtavakra Gita. So the moment this process started, one weak thought enters and makes way for another weak thought. Immediately I become alert. I said, stay out, talk to me from there. Don't come inside my room. Talk to me from the door. Why are you here? No, things are going wrong, things are not working out for you. This may not happen, this will go. I said, all that is not your problem. Am I the doer? Am I the enjoyer? No. Then what is your problem? Who are you, unsolicited advisor to me? Why are you coming and bothering me? But no, not me. The 10 behind me are also telling the same thing. I told all of you, get lost from here. Don't disturb my peace. Despite such a strong standing and getting rid of all those thoughts, still one of them had entered my subconscious mind without my realizing. So in the dream, I am watching that thought manifest itself as an activity or an incident. But in my dream also I am conscious. This is a dream, and this dream is happening because of that one thought which somehow managed to enter through the back door and has got inside my subconscious and disturbing my peace. In dream also I am aware that this is a dream, and this thought which I was thinking about, I think I thought of it for too long and has entered and infiltrated my fortress, and now is disturbing me even in my sleep. That is the way of living of a jnani. Not that he won't be affected by all that happens around, but he will know how to deal with it. He'll know how to distance. And even in dream, in subconsciously also, if the thought comes, his consciousness is alert. It discards that dream also, saying, it is not true. It is because of that thought that had entered the subconscious mind without us realizing it. So whole day of negativity you go through, naturally your dream is going to be negative dream. But even then your consciousness should be there, alert. And make you realize that this is just an illusion. and this is not real. And you will overcome it like this. So somebody asked, does Jnani not get affected by all these things? It affects only to this extent of he allows it. If he doesn't allow it, nothing affects. Keeps it at the door, deals with it from a distance, it doesn't disturb. And even if it disturbs once in a blue moon, even then his consciousness is so alert and aware that it immediately puts up its defense, like the white blood cells in the body. The moment an infection enters, there is a mechanism in immunity system, it comes alert and immediately puts up the line of defense and deals with the infection. Like that, this Jnani's mind has that ability to deal with such influences. Maybe sometimes it enters, you get infected despite all the hygiene and everything. But then you have a system, an immunity system, which deals with it. Like that, this Jnani's system of wisdom is always there on guard. So even if something happens, a thought infiltrates his consciousness, still his ability to deal with it allows him to get rid of it. That is how Jnanis live. Much lighter than most of the people in the world. So that is how one should lead. These are practical ways of living. Every time a thought comes, immediately try to analyze and discard it. Don't allow it to grow. Don't allow it to take roots. That's why I said, the best way to get rid of attachment is don't look at anything twice. Second time, if you look at it, you will get attached. First time, it's okay. By chance, by accident, you have looked at it. Something stirred inside you, but you moved on. Matter ends there. Next time, again, you go back and look at it, you will develop attachment. Like that, one thought has come, you analyze it, deal with it, be done with it. Don't think of it twice. Second time you think of it, then it will become an emotion. Third time, it will become an attachment. Fourth time, habit. Fifth time, your very nature. You will become pessimist. You will find negativity in everything around you. So don't allow that thought to enter. Deal with it in the very first place and get rid of it then and there. That is the idea.